So, yes, we will start with journey of happiness and wisdom. Sarvesham swastir bhavatu. Can you reflect on what exactly we are doing? We are saying happiness is our essential nature. Where it is located? It is located in me. I am of the nature of happiness. What prevents? I'm simplifying. Default mind, impulsive mind is default and impulsive mind is preventing. Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu. We are exploring, means reflecting, means we want a knowledge. Peace, where are you? No, I'm of the nature of the peace. So what is preventing me? My default mind. That changes my behavior and attitude. How? By thought, speech, and action, interaction with the world outside. So I'm in stress, and peace is my essential nature. Are you getting it? Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu. Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu. May there be completeness in all. Wholeness in all. The same idea, same thought, same knowledge. Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. So if the default mind, which is impulsive, habitual, is not acting like a curtain. You know, some people just put their curtain, even in the live session. So you see what happens? Your default mind is putting a curtain. On one side, deeper inside, you are of the nature of peace and happiness, but the curtain prevents you. So then we start seeking. And then we start seeking where? Outside. When we start seeking outside, and then what happens? The default mind says, now I am the king. I will give you anxiety, I'll give you stress, I'll give you duality, I'll give you problems in relationship, and a long list. I believe you're getting it. So what happens to the six treasures? They are hidden. They are hidden, and they remain hidden as long as the default mind is active in our life. Or you can say unauthorized occupants of the mind. Open your eyes. Do you want to get in taste at the intellectual level, understanding what exactly is awakening? Just put a series of intellect, put a series of understanding, stepwise understanding. What is stepwise understanding? It is knowledge and understanding. What is knowledge? You know, in modern psychology, we say cognitive function, cognition, knowledge, understanding. Don't get carried away by these words. You know, modern science, puts you into effects. Cognition, So obviously, phrase works, the cognitive understanding. So when you say knowledge understanding, it doesn't work. So that is why they use it. Now come back. I'm making it very simple at the intellectual level. And do you want to live into that state or remind yourself again and again? Just do this week and see what happens. First is the real self. We say the real self is of the nature of peace, happiness, love, truth, and wisdom. Right? Say yes. So now it is reflected in the mind. Mind is there, which is mind, memory, intellect, and ego. It is all the same mind. Mind has 4 functions. Real self is reflected in the mind, but the mind has 2 types. One is the default mind, other is the discerning mind, discerning intellect, you can say. So now if it is reflected in the discerning intellect, it is the cognitive understanding. If it is reflected in the default mind, it is non-cognitive understanding. Non-cognitive means ignorance, impurities. Clear? Am I right? Intellectual. So now if the real self reflected through the discerning intellect or mind, now it continues its journey, its behavior and attitude. How my behavior and attitude will be reflected by my thought, speech, and action. What exactly is the thought, speech, and action? I am interacting with the world outside. So now you see, the real self gets the freeway. In Arizona, we say it's the freeway. In New Jersey, Barbara, we say, it's a highway. So now we have a freeway. Freeway of what? Freeway of the real self. So will the real self in the discerning intellect will act as a real self? No, it will act with the 6 treasures. And those 6 treasures will be reflected in behavior and attitude. Behavior and attitude will manifest in thought, speech, and action interacting with the world. Is the entire process continuous without any curtain? Without any curtain, default mind. Is it awakening? Yes. Oh, it is so simple. Why you have been teaching for the last 5 years? You have to study for another 5 years to remove all the problems and obstacles from the current state of 6 treasures to that state of awakening. No, I have understood it. One couple has understood in this very session last year, oh, it's consciousness. I have understood. There is no need to practice. They sent an email that, they have a problem of relationship. When the consciousness is there, why you have a problem of relationship? Did you understand it? Real self? I'm making it very simple. Real self reflected into the discerning mind or intellect. The discerning mind and intellect means what? It filters out. Here is a false eye, here is the real eye. Do you see? And then now it reflects into behavior and attitude. How it reflects behavior and attitude has to be expressed by thought, speech, and action. But thought, speech, and action has to do with the interaction with the world outside. What is the world outside? Time and space and relationship and people and business. Oh, it's a smooth sailing. That smooth sailing begins after we are settled in 6 treasures, and after the 6 treasures, we have an intense desire for self-knowledge and awakening, and then there is another journey altogether. All other principles have to be understood and recognized and realized. That is one part. Second part, what happens? You won't feel tired. You have a tremendous energy. You have a clarity. You live into that state of awareness. No, I have a lot of problems. No. Your problem is the inability of the discerning mind to see the benefit. That problem becomes opportunity. Are you getting it? So that process begins once you are settled in the six treasures, not intellectually, experientially. Every day you are full of energy, calmness, peace. Your mom comes to your house, you deal with calmness and peace. Or anyone. Do you see that? Just give an outline of so the cognitive ability, what I said, discerning intellect. But now if the default mind, one example, discerning intellect has recognized your friend has returned. Now it can jump onto the default mind. Okay, this guy is, he's my friend and he criticized me. I'm okay with it. No, even that state of mind should not be there. Because now discerning intellect has been lost, discerning mind has taken over, and it creates, okay, it's okay, I will tolerate. No, no tolerate. Christina, was looking for what exactly is the awakening. But in that state of awakening, you have a transformation. In what is transformation? What is transformation? Now, default mind acts as an actor, as a Hollywood actor. That actor plays a role of a criminal, shoots out hundreds of people. Discerning intellect is already present. So I'm not at all impacted. So you have a purified eye maker, you have a purified ego that does not fall prey to the ignorance. That is what the awakening. And it leads to the transformation of the body and the mind. I lived with for 3 months, day and night, with another master, UG Krishnamurti. So everyone undergoes a transformation based on their past impression, previous birth. So we are not going there. So he used to have 1/4 coffee cup of rice and 1/4 of the cream. 2 times, that was his meal. He lived with a tremendous energy. Transformation. Some people undergo a transformation in the body. Some people undergo a transformation in the mind. So they have a ability, their mind gets an ability to read the thoughts of others, and long lists. But others, they live into that state. Why I explain this in the journey, because the 6 treasures are very important. They lay a strong foundation. Just so, this today, tomorrow, and until Monday, you just think of it that there's a smooth movement real self, discerning intellect. My behavior and attitude will be guided by the six treasures in my thought, speech, and action, interacting with the world. What is that state? It is status quo. It is continuous. It is not disturbed. Why it is disturbed? By the default mind. What the default mind says. Ego maker. Past impression. So we were now come back to our six treasures. We have understood that core concept of sama. Sama is peace and the calmness. Peace is the natural state of the real self. We have understood that. So sama, we also understand it is the active state. One is the passive peace. Passive peace, obviously I'm calm and relaxed, casual, but it is an active peace in thought, speech, and action, interacting with the world. First, then we said that fourfold practices so just focus on becoming a seeker, discernment, dispassion. The percentage of discernment and dispassion, or quality of discernment and dispassion, increases, it will awaken you to the six treasures. And then it means what? Deliberately, third point that last time, third point I discussed, that deliberately I have to think, speak, and act out of the peace in order to invoke the active peace. It is not there, still I will do it. We discussed that. Then etymology and definition of that, the same and equal, tranquility to subdue, peace, we discussed about it. Equanimity of the mind. The peace is also that equanimity of the mind. What is that? You have challenges outside and mind is still able to maintain that active peace. We discussed that. Passive peace. And then reflections. We had couple of reflections and practices. Core concept of the sama. Remember, don't forget, core concept of sama. Sama is our essential nature. Fourfold practices and thought, speech, and action. And then we did etymology of the sama and layman's language. Foundational calmness. And then active and the passive. And this is what we have done as far as the sama is concerned. We will now come to the Dhamma, the second treasure out of the six treasures. Dhamma is the mastery of the sense organs. So now you see discerning intellect, whether it's a mind and intellect. So the intellect and the mind always remains associated with the five sense organs. Default mind is also associated with the five senses, and intellect is also associated with the five sense organs. You come to me, I had a previous image of that you have been crazy in your life and you have been angry and you made me upset. So that image returns by the default mind. What the discerning intellect returns with? Think of it. Give it a word. Discerning intellect returns with the equanimity. What I have to do with it? What happened? Mind reminds you. Dhamma. Did you understand? Everything is 90%. It's a mental practice. Do you ever feel pulled off track by craving, distractions, or habitual urges? So if so, you are not alone. You are in a good company of the Eastern wisdom who face the same challenges. So in Eastern wisdom, we say the practice of Dhamma is the self-mastery over the sense organs, because I saw something outside. I perceive. Perception means all the five senses. Smell and feel and touch, etc. So that is why we say literally, a sense is different. Literally, that it is the mastery of the sense organ. The Dhamma is not about harshly suppressing your senses or desires, but skillfully guiding them so that they serve your greater good. That is Dhamma. Instead of totally avoiding, for example, instead of totally avoiding sweets, Dhamma means enjoying a small piece when appropriate and saying no when it is not healthy. So you are choosing mindfully. That brings the mastery over the senses. We have the kids, they are too much exposed to the internet and TikTok and budge. So we say that let us control them. Don't watch. It will not work. And it is not working. It may work for hardly 1% of the population. Dhamma. Dhamma is, these six treasures are wonderful applications to all generations. Why do most people, even spiritual seekers, struggle with the craving and distractions? Answer lies in the Dhamma, because the senses and the mind are constantly bombarded by tempting sight, sound, taste, and impulses, making it easy to react automatically. Seekers struggle just like everyone, but they use awareness to change the pattern. You use your awareness, you use the discerning intellect to change the pattern. You finish dinner but reach for tortillas out of the habit. For example, realizing this, you pause and ask, am I truly hungry or just eating to fill time? I have to question. I have to use the discerning intellect. I have to use the cognition. That is what the Dhamma is. How does Dhamma lead to a greater inner freedom and clarity? When you master your senses, you are no longer a slave to the world outside at any level. The mind becomes available for higher pursuits and clear choices. That is how this guy is changing. I told you, only 3 girls, thanks God, cute and beautiful. And now he has, yesterday also he has written, I heard you, the audio of 22, year 22. And I got that now I can really understand what is the default mind and what is the discerning mind. That is what is required in the Dhamma. Dhamma is not about a harsh depriving, but you use the moderation. You need it. Do you need it? Okay. So you enjoy the life pleasures in moderation without letting them control you. How it controls you, you keep on thinking about. You get obsessed. Craving obsession is all habit. It's all about thinking with emotion and feeling. So once we understand this, so how to practice Dhamma, and start by bringing awareness to moments when your senses pull you. Pause, reflect, choose how to act, discerning into it. Same. Every time you change the thought process. So when you change the thought process, one day it will be associated with your feeling and emotion, and the Dhamma will come into your life. When tempted to check your phone during the dinner, you choose to keep it aside. enjoying genuine conversation and presence with the loved ones. I love you so much. Hold for a minute and then I start looking at the phone. Do you really love? Are you making a joke of the other guys? No, no, there may be some important messages out there. We don't stop it. I just got 2 calls. I simply say stop. This is more important to me. Or should I start looking into the messages? Why? So basically, Dhamma is a very gentle, practical discipline of the senses coming from the discerning intellect. It enhances both the enjoyment and the self-mastery. People make a mistake there. Don't I need a right chair to sit to talk to you all? I need that. Don't I need the right temperature? I need that. So, I'm a very spiritual people. I practice meditation in Arizona out of my home at 110 degree Fahrenheit. But it also does not mean that I am heavily conditioned by the outer factors. If it is not there, I can continue. That is how we guide our senses. So they serve my deeper well-being rather than running your life by habit or impulse. So you check, is my life running because of habit or impulses, or am I really settled use of the My master used to say, your sama leads you to Dhamma. You increase the quantity, quality of the sama in your life, it results into Dhamma. Natural. Because why? The sama is dynamic, active peace, a calm and steady mind, even in the midst of life challenges. When the mind is anchored in sama, it does not react impulsively. It's so simple to understand to every desire, disturbances, or distraction. Active sama, active peace. See that? So it responds to desire, disturbances, and distraction. This clarity creates the foundation of the Dhamma. So how do you differentiate between the two? Sama is internal calm, Dhamma is external calm. One is internal, other is external. So will it change your thought, behavior, and action? Answer is yes. Thought, speech, and action, yes. So it will lead you to a change in behavior and attitude. What is change in behavior and attitude? Do you understand it? Yes. What is this understanding? By doing it little deeper? No, it's simple to understand. So what is this change in behavior? It is a cognitive change. Modern psychology. I'm not going to cognitive behavior therapy. They focus on negative emotions. We are focusing on discerning it. We have already discerned what is real and false. False causes the problem. So we go by the peace and happiness. So cognitive change changes your behavior and attitude. Both. Modern psychology also believes in that. They have a lot of research studies on that. Cognitive, here the cognitive change from the discerning intellect. There it is different. I'm not going there. So Dhamma is an external discipline and Sama is an internal calm. So when your mind is peaceful, it naturally becomes easier to notice urges as they arise with reference to the sense organs. So instead of being swept away, you observe, you reflect, you choose your response. This is the essence of the Dhamma. So there is an interdependence of the Sama and Dhamma. Last point, concluding. What is that? A restless mind is easily tricked by the sense craving. You see that? Internal and external. A restless mind is easily tricked by sense craving. It may be food, it may be screen, it may be gossip. But a peaceful, centered mind, Sama, catches these impulses early before they take control. Let us now I open for discussion. Oh, Brandy has returned. Yes, Brandy, where you were. So,
I was right here. I was listening. There were several things today that resonated with me. One was when you get into the state of sama, of peace, you have more energy. And I gave myself permission to sleep in today, so I set my alarm for later than when I get up, and I still woke up early with a lot of energy. So I'm starting to experience that, and I really like to sleep. So that was nice. And then also, I think having that discernment where when the mind kicks up, you can sit back and watch it and act accordingly versus responding with trying to grasp something out in the world to calm the restlessness or the activity or whatever. You go, okay, well, this is happening. Calm down. And the process has been slow. I've been with you for a long time, but all the things that you said today, I think, point to the fruits of the path. So thank you.
yes, you are right. The path seems to be slow because the way I lived my life for so many years with default mind returns again and again. That is why we see the process is slow. There is a traffic jam. You call me, how long? I don't know. Process is slow. Highway is clear, discerning intellect is there. That is how we understand it. Yes, beautiful. How are you, Dennis?
Regarding the first part of the lesson, the way I understood it, pure consciousness manifests in this world through the six treasures.
Yes.
And if the mind is pure enough to reflect pure consciousness as is, it will reflect it in the form of six treasures in this world. And as there are levels of purity of the mind, it's not like the mind is either pure or impure. There are stages, there are levels, different levels. And so there are corresponding levels of manifestation of these six treasures. So the Sama, Dhamma, and others, they can be either manifested as low level or high level, depending on the purity of the mind. And then regarding the Dhamma, I think that our sense organs are windows to the world, to experience the world, and they are meant to just to deliver information about the world to the mind. And if the mind is in default state, it will interpret the input from sense organs as pleasant or unpleasant, and will either attach to that information or will want to avoid it. And this what makes mind impure and causes suffering. And if the mind is in the form of discerning intellect, it will treat this input from sense organs only as pure information that doesn't impact me in any way. It doesn't make me happy or unhappy. And this is, I think, is the essence of Dhamma.
Beautifully said. Beautifully said. First, you try the first part of the talk, you try this. Real self. Am I in the mode of discerning intellect? The default mind comes and says, that guy is crazy, that thought, that feeling, that emotion, something comes up. So that defines the quality, quantity, degree of the presence of the sixth treasure. But that is just the beginning. Even you try this. So then you check, how I'm thinking and speaking and acting. That indicates my behavior and attitude in interaction with the world. So there are a lot of other principles are involved because, the self, there is only one real self, so how am I going to interact? So then there is a long journey. That is one part, but you rightly said, Dhamma. Sense organs are windows only to the external world. It does not open inside. Become aware of it. The more you become aware, you are actually becoming aware of the active piece. You are applying the discerning mind, you see that? You are crazy. So now let me see. My sense organ can go inside. No, it is the mind. It is the default mind with the preferences, with the likes and dislikes. That is living in me. And if I say, no, I don't agree with you, finished. That is the Dhamma. Now, I told you, 90% it is all practice of internal practice. It is not a practice of handstand, because, then you will find Dhamma. We don't say that. That is okay. It helps. That is why they are part of the yoga. But we have bypassed that. Yes, Christina, you want to? I think you are more encouraged about spirituality, awakening. So I gave you one definition of awakening.
Yeah, the right definition. I've certainly had the wrong definition and understanding for many years. And this morning, actually, I was working with a spreadsheet and I made a big mistake. And, with spreadsheets, everything gets all mixed up. And I started to go into my emotion mind. And I had this anxiety. And I remembered, I am peace and happiness. I am peace and happiness over and over and over again. And, I was so happy I remembered in that moment. And I could feel just a calming. And then I was able to fix the issue. So that was my practice this morning.
Yeah, beautiful. Because when you said peace and happiness, you have already done a lot of practices. You have already understood. So that knowledge is already present in the mind. So instead, the mind, default mind, it became the discerning intellect. So your repetition of I am peace and happiness worked. So normally on the Google, we say, just repeat I am peace and happiness. But behind that, there is no cognitive understanding. So nothing happens. Nothing happens. So you had that memory, you had that intellect, which brought it. So it's a spreadsheet about money. Okay, don't tell me. Yes, David and
Do you want me to respond?
Yes.
Thank you. I love the interrelationship with the Sama and the Dhamma, the two, the first treasures, and I think that interrelationship between the two is kind of like this dance is the only word I can think of, and so that I'll be reflecting on that a lot in the next few days. But then the other thing is the Dhamma being, it's almost like the data scientist, that it has to discern which data is important to pass through and how to use that data. So that's kind of where my mind goes with the Dhamma. Is it's the senses are there, they are what they are. Spreadsheet is broken, it is what it is, but we can just step back from that and discern and pull from it what we need. So that's my takeaway.
Yes, data. Yes, data word is also very. We receive all kinds of data through these sense organs, and it is given interpretation by the mind based on my memory. Huh? Am I right, Dennis? Based on my memory and past information. So can I get rid of the past information and I receive the data as a raw data? And I say discerning intellect, check it. Very checking is the filter. So you are getting rid of all those past impressions, you allow it. And then what is to be used at that particular moment is what the mindfulness is. You understand it good. You did not understand that too is good. We are continuing the journey. You will understand it. Yes, Jerry.
Thank you, sir. The discerning mind allows us to reap the nectar, if you will, of the Dhamma. Of the Dhamma. So when we have the default mind, then the Dhamma is attached, obsessive, compulsive, habitual, and we don't question it. And so that's just, there's no nectar there, really. We're using something else that's not satisfying. It's never complete. It's always changing. So when we are discerning, we get the nectar from the Dhamma.
Yes, you are right. You raised a very important point that I talked before also. Any kind, I talked in the session, Ukrainian group where the Dennis is. What I said, don't forget, from there this concept has been developed. Discovery. Discovery in modern science is based on experimentation to observe the facts, collecting the data, giving the interpretation, and ultimately statistical analysis. It is significant, then we say this research is clear. But in Eastern wisdom, self-discovery, the same mind, same intellect uses the self-discovery, but with discernment. Our journey of self-discovery is with discernment. Scientific discovery, they have an element of discernment, but they rely more on the observed facts by the sense organs. So that is what the Jerry is pointing out. So when you discern, it's a nectar. Yes, it's a nectar. So it removes the poison caused by the default mind, and the life changes. So should I have a discernment in the morning, not in the afternoon? So I should lose the discernment with my honey or with someone else outside, and default mind with the honey and discernment outside. You see the permutation and combination. I'm not using those phrases and sentences. I'm using the term honey So you have a default mind with some stranger outside. You have a discerning intellect or with your honey inside your home. So what happens? Or you have a discerning intellect with everyone in the world. What happens? You have to think. I'm giving you a question. How are you, Stephen?
Good, sir. Thank you. Coming into today's meditation, I am noticing a shift in the default mind. And I'd like to believe that the discerning mind is now taking over the default mind. And of course, you have doubts. You go back and forth, and you're still dealing with past impressions. But what I found in today's lesson to be very helpful is that, and by the way, is your power to read minds? Because as you were going through the Dhamma lesson, I said to myself before you said it that basically the Sama is internal peace, and then the Dhamma is external peace, and then you said that exact thing. And then I said, oh, I wonder if the more I have inner peace, then that would control the outer peace. And then you said that exact same thing. So it's good to see that what I'm thinking and what I'm feeling, you are saying, and that's happening. So I'm glad about that. So thank you.
Beautifully, yes, beautiful, lovely. Inner calm. But inner calm must come by the discerning intellect. That is where the Krishna started repeating, I am peace and happiness. You have not to stay at peace and happiness. When you said peace and happiness, what exactly happened? Discerning and intellect was proactive. It filtered out that you messed with the spreadsheet, whether of money or something else. I don't know. I don't want to. Don't tell me. So you see that? So discerning intellect became proactive. What is discerning intellect? It separated real from the false. So then what happened? You are already in the active state of peace. You were in peace, was veiled by the default mind. We have to talk of these deeper concepts, and that, so it means all problems are basically an opportunity for me to live into that state. And they will definitely be there in everyone's life. If they are not there, we will not evolve. We will not be able to awaken. Then what is the use of awakening? It's simply a waste. Are you getting it? Say yes, even if you don't understand. We will understand. Yes, Barbara, what do you want to say? Oh, we have, oh, no problem. Okay, we'll do yes.
You said early in the talk that to tolerate something isn't good enough. And that is because when you tolerate something, you're implying that it's affected you. But if you practice Sama and Dhamma, you don't have to tolerate because it doesn't affect you.
Beautifully said. What is the beauty in it? That idea that experience to tolerate do not exist in the presence of Sama and Dhamma. And that is why that idea, that thought to tolerate is basically a delusion. We live in all kinds of delusion. I'm tolerating you. Enough is enough. Krishna, you have been tolerating so many people. It's a delusion. That, what is that understanding? Cognitive. What is that cognitive knowledge? Cognitive knowledge changes your behavior and attitude. Behavior and attitude, thought, speech, and action. Thought, speech, and action, interaction with the world. The entire process It starts from the real self, descends down into your daily life. Body changes, mind changes, intellect changes, emotions changes. That is why we say awakening leads to inner transformation. Leave this, we have not enough time. Close your eyes for practice of meditation. Eyes are closed. Presence. Are you present with me? Yes. Why should I be present with you? I'm present with myself. You have to be very tough on your mind. I'm present with myself first. So what is that presence? And I notice what I notice, feeling, emotion, sensation, thoughts, etc., etc. Whatever is coming, I'm just noticing. Noticing. Notice. I notice. So I is different from what I notice, that I become an observer. We are doing poise. P-O. So your awareness, and I use the word to make you understand that awareness goes a little deeper. And now that awareness, after the notice, it says, yes, I am an observer, and I notice the traffic on the highway. You see, highway is different from the traffic. I notice the birds flying in the sky. Sky is different. What is different, that is an observer, does not change. So I have a couple of thoughts just now before you said presence, and I have other thoughts now. So these thought, feeling, and emotions are changing, but the observer is the same. My goodness. And I'm seeing that I'm changing. I'm not changing. I'm unchanging. That we do in investigation. Investigate. I investigate. So what happens in investigation? Authenticates. I am an observer. Observer does not change. The what is changing is not me. P-O-I. So it means there are two things. One is that does not change, and the rest are changing. So there has to be a space. Can you make what is changing as unchanging? Can you make unchanging as changing? Answer is big no, it is not possible. It is contradiction. It is, why shouldn't I settle? Oh, so there is a space between the two. Then only I can recognize. Thoughts are coming and going. Let it come and go. Who cares? Good, bad, high, low thoughts, feeling, emotions. They are changing. Why? Why I shouldn't care? Discerning intellect says, no, I am an observer. I am an unchanging entity. The witness consciousness. That is known as the mindfulness. But we are going deeper than that. We discover the space, and in that space we drop Om Shanti. It is Om Shanti, but we declare means what? That's why I use the word declare. I embody that I am the peace. Declare means you are already what you are. I am the peace. Om Shanti. So, are you more concerned about the thoughts entering into your mind and leaving you? No. Now you are more aware of the space between the two. And you enjoy because you find the space continuous. And on that you are dropping Om Shanti, space Om Shanti. I can make it further elaborate. There are 4 points of awareness. Thought, feeling, and emotion, point number 1. They are coming and going and changing. Second point of awareness is the observer. So that observer is constant, unchanging. Third point of awareness is the space. Fourth point of awareness that you recognize and declare Om Shanti. How simple it is? The answer is yes. Can I say it is a four-pointed awareness? Yes. First point of awareness, I say thought, feeling, emotions, or your experiences. Second point of awareness is the observer, because, and in that you notice that one is changing, another is not changing. How you know it? By the space. What you do with the space, you declare Om Shanti. I can tell you the problem of awakening is there are 4 points. Mind, even the discerning intellect, cannot fathom the depth. What is that depth? That it is all one awareness. Intellectually, we understand. To resolve this, there is a third level of the deeper journey that we do after 6 treasures. I'm just giving you a glimpse of it so that you should be very clear. There is nothing said, spoken, taught by chance. You're still dropping Om Shanti. You can add another, then why 4-pointed awareness, 5th point of awareness, you can add more. 5th point of awareness, you're listening to me. So you see, you go on exploring, oh, so there are 20 points of awareness? Yes. So when you settle in that 20 point of awareness, awakening is there. What are those 20 points in it? What are you doing? Doing? Yes, I recognize cognitively. Cognitive knowledge, space, Om Shanti. Om Shanti is also cognitive. In the language, we say you drop Om Shanti into the space. Basically, it is cognitive understanding. It's a non-verbal awareness. Mm. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Move the mind on the right hand, your mind on the left hand. What are exactly you doing? Your mind. What is this mind? It is the discerning mind. Do you see that? You feel the sensation of touch, no likes and dislikes. In the absence of likes and dislikes, you experience different sensation. Can you check it every time you do it? And now is the time to lift your both the palms, place it on your eyes, open the eyes inside and stay there for a few seconds. Open your eyes are open inside the palms like a cup, and then bring the hands down and see what happens. We did not, yes, first is the Vaibhav. We did not share your experiences. So Vaibhav.
Thank you, sir. So mine was calm. And today's understanding is like with Sama, we are realizing the space between me and the mind. So whenever mind is crazy, I am calm and I realize that. And with Dhamma, it's a realization of the space between sense organs and mind. So whenever sense organ is perceiving something, mind should not be crazy about it. There should be a training to the mind that it is not crazy and it should be calm. So this is what the understanding for today.
What a beautiful way to explain it, isn't it? Just check it in cognitive, argue, reflect. Senses in the mind, I am the mind. It's cognitive. You cannot put it at the physical level. Beautiful way to put it. Don't forget this. Thank you. Thank you for sharing it. Sangeeta, yes.
सर जैसे कोई थॉट आता है और उस थॉट को एक्शन में बदलने में स्पेस है और वहीं पर डिसर्नमेंट आ जाती है और विवेक आता है कि मुझे ये काम करना है या नहीं और वो जो मेरे लिए बेस्ट है फिर वो मैं करती हूँ कि मन की नहीं सुननी फिर उस टाइम पे अगर जैसे कुछ खाने का मन है तो उसमें ये है कि ये मुझे खाने के लिए मेरे लिए ठीक है कि नहीं तो उस स्पेस में ही डिसर्नमेंट है और एक्शन जो है वो बेस्ट होता है
Yes. Yes. It demands a lot of practice. What she is saying, you have a thought in your mind and you are aware of that thought. So you can, your mind can start. Mind can move into the discernment, or it can remain as a default mind. So thought with the default mind, thought with the discerning intellect. If it is thought with the discerning intellect, your behavior, attitude, thought, speech, action, cognitive understanding is there. It is not the cognitive understanding of modern psychology. It is totally different. So I'm using the cognitive means, understanding knowledge. That's another beautiful way to put it. The way she has put it. Any thought, my master used to say the practice involves into a different arena, different area. My master used to say that you have to say to your mind what you want to say to the others. First 10 times to your mind, 11th time you say to the others. When you're saying it 10 times, obviously the default mind will lose its craziness, lose its likes and dislikes. That was his, his way of educating and teaching us. So I will waste my time and effort to say 10 times to my mind before I say to the others, no, you are not wasting your time. Basically, you are educating the mind how to think, speak, and act and go. Did you get it? Yes. Yes, David and Jerry.
Thank you. The meditation today was very deep and just further contemplation on the interrelationship between the Dhamma and the Sama. Thank you.
Thank you. Beautiful. Yes. How are you, Jerry?
Sir, I'm good. Thank you. Nice and relaxed, peaceful, just space. Thank you.
Beautiful. Yeah. And during the day also, you apply the poise. Oh, I found the space, Om Shanti. Normally, the default mind finds craziness, laziness, duality, conflict. Instead, we can find Om Shanti. How are you, Stevie?
Good, sir. I immediately moved into a peaceful, empty space. Thank you.
Good. Continue with that, Om Shanti. How are you, Barbara?
I'm very good. My meditation was very peaceful, but you mentioned a non-verbal awareness. Is that simply sensation, or is it more than that?
What is it? Do you have any thought about me that I'm talking to you? What is this? Do you know my name? You will say yes, but you don't have a thought. Non-verbal means thought is not there and still I know who you are. Am I clear? So now, is it a sensation? Some people say it is. It is just an understanding. Yes. It is a cognition. Psychology uses, crazy words, that separates the Krishna from other people. You see, but that is the way. Cognition, whether you say cognition, awareness, self-awareness, you can use. You see that? Yes, beautifully. And we have Dennis. Yeah.
Even though the meditation was short, subjectively, it seemed like it took at least 20 minutes, and it was very deep, peaceful, and joyful. Very warm and pleasant experience in the body. Thank you.
Beautiful. You transcend the time. So you don't see that even when you return, you say, oh, it is hardly for 10, 15 minutes, but you feel as if it is so long. Why we feel it is so long? The mind is totally immersed in the six treasures. Can I use that? What a beautiful state. Not only in meditation, but during all your activities, thought, during your working on the spreadsheet also, Christina. Yes. What, what Christina?
Thank you. It came to mind that the mind is like when you train an intern, and it requires so much patience and time and detail, so that then, right, they can go off and do the job. And really, it's the same thing with the mind, to do the right job in discernment.
Beautifully said. And my mind prompted me to make a statement. What you said in detail. Detail means I have to understand each and every detail of any knowledge, any skill. Detail. So what is that detailing? I cognize each point. I pick up every part of the car to assemble the car. What is the last product is the beautiful car, beautiful phone. So when I understand each and every detail of this crazy guy, what is that state? That state is awakening. Why it is awakening? I'm not the body, mind, intellect, ego, thought, feeling, emotions, anger, hesitation. Nothing of that sort. I'm the pure consciousness. Then yes, Brandy.
I was able to directly apply the lesson and the conversation today to my meditation because there's work being done on my house. So I'm not able to work or to meditate and do the lesson where I usually am. And at one point I could hear the workers and I could hear a dog barking in the distance. And I was just in this peace. And I had this realization that this is all there is. I mean, like there was a time that I probably wouldn't be able to sit and do a meditation with all of the kind of
Yes.
chaos around me, but it was like, okay, well, that's all happening and this is happening. And it wasn't really just
Is it also
no.
happening you with students?
Sometimes. Boy, I like what Christina said about the interns. So I have a batch this year, so I'm working on it. It does take a lot of time and training and detail, to kind of get it right. And I like what you said. I need to say it to myself 10 times before I say it to them. Fair enough.
Yes, yes. It is beautiful. So I recognize the chaos as not a chaos. Default mind still recognizes it is a chaos. Discerning intellect instantly changes the very perception. Change of that perception is the cognition. That is my cognitive ability. And that cognitive ability transforms the mind. And that helps the real self to move with the six treasures. Beautifully, that is one of the most beautiful sessions you all shared your revelations, and that is beautiful. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. That is all for today. We will meet.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Namaste.
sir. Namaste.
Thank you, sir. Namaste.